Guys, what's going on? TH back with you again. Again. Can you believe it? It's almost like I have nothing better to do with my time. But I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to change things up a little bit. I'm not drinking a pop or a beer. I'm going to drink instead crisp, refreshing water straight from my Brita filter. Let's do our first sip. Delicious. Incredible. You know what? I'm going to give that a 5 out of 5. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. No, I'm kidding. Um, yeah, it's just, um, you make content for a while, and my channel has grown. I have 115 subs. That's a hell of a great thing. I appreciate each and every one of you. But I'd like to change things up a little bit, try to offer something a little bit different. I don't want to be drinking too much pop and energy drinks. Um, you got to be careful the kind of shit you drink. I'm kind of taking a break on beer. I didn't take a break on beer tonight. I had a couple tall boys. I got to take it easy on that shit. I've been cutting down, but every once in a while you backslide. You have bad habits. I got an addictive personality. It's just like sometimes, I don't smoke weed anymore. I haven't smoked weed in years. I was a big pothead for a while. I would, when I was working at this one place about years and years ago, and this guy I knew, this guy I worked with, he sold weed on the side, so I'd buy like an eighth from him every week. 25 bucks for an eighth. That's pretty much standard prices. I wouldn't even know what he sold me if it was sativa, indica, whatever. I just smoked whatever he gave me. I'd just be like, "Hey man, can I get 25 bucks worth of whatever?" And I would just smoke it. I'd smoke it through the week. I'd pack a bowl with it and just smoke that shit all week. I put it in a bong, put it whatever, roll a joint with it, and I did that for a long time. For years, I did that, spending hundreds of bucks on weed, and then I just like got to a point where I just really didn't enjoy smoking it anymore. Every time I smoked it, I would just get really paranoid. I would just get really anxious, and I'd be like, "Oh, what the fuck am I doing with my life?" It like opened up all these channels in my brain, and I would just be like really self-conscious, and I'd get really depressed when I smoked it, and then I'd be like, "Well, that won't happen again. I'll smoke some more," and I felt like shit. "Oh, that won't happen again. I'll smoke some more," and then I just felt like shit again, and I did this cycle for a few times, and I'm just like, you know, maybe being a stoner isn't really an identity I want, and maybe weed just isn't as great as everyone says it is. Um, I'm not like anti-weed. I'm pro legalization. If you want to smoke that shit, go ahead. It's just something. It's nothing I want a part of. I haven't smoked it. We used to, dude. It was everywhere. It's just trying to get away from weed is so difficult these days. For me, my friend smoked it. My family member smoked it. My coworker smoked it. It's just like I'd go into work, and this kid would bring a joint in, and we'd all pass it around, take hits of it. And I remember I got hired at my old job. I stopped working for this place. I got laid off in 2018. Got hired back during the pandemic. Everyone there was a serious weed head. We had this guy who made a fuck ton of money selling this shit. It was like a side hustle for him. It's like he basically only worked at the shop just to have something to do, like something to tell the government so he could claim like his income or whatever on a government form or what have you to keep the feds off his back or whoever the fuck. I don't know. But he would sell this shit. He made a fuck ton of money. He'd bring in like joints and shit, and we would pass them around. When the boss wasn't there, and I'd smoke that shit, and I just like wander around in a haze. I didn't know what the fuck was in it. It could have been, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the THC level of that shit was. THC is so powerful these days. Delicious water. But I just um, it's you think about like sometimes I think about like there's a dispensary not too far from me, and I think about maybe I'll just go pick up some pre rolls or a vape or something. But the vapes are like 90% THC, and it's like I don't think I could handle that anymore. My tolerance is so low now. I haven't smoked it in years, So I don't know, but it's like everybody smokes it. This one guy offered me a hit of his vape once. I'm just like, I'm good, bro. But it's just one of these things. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like you use like alcohol and like weed and like all these drugs to like kind of alter your consciousness. It's just like, does reality suck that much? You don't want to face up to how shitty things are. I mean, is that like a reflection of like our culture? Things are just bad now. Everything's more expensive. There's all this political strife. There's all this conflict going on, all this shit going on. And you don't want to like ignore it. You want to be like, you get plugged into it and it's hard to break away from, but like moreover, I think a lot of us just use like weed and alcohol to like cope. I use alcohol to cope. Some days you're to get home from work, you're fucking exhausted, you're fucking sore. It's just like, you just want to crack open a couple beers and like watch some funny cat vids or something. That's what I used to do when I smoked weed. I had this whole playlist on YouTube where post all these I'd find all these fucked up videos on YouTube and I just saved them to this playlist. And whenever I smoked, I would just watch these videos and I would just like totally zone out. I would just be like, and I would just watch this shit for like hours. You know, I remember this is back, I lived in Detroit for a while. My grandmother had a house in the Detroit suburbs, and after she passed away, I took over the house, and it was like a favor to my family. I would pay like the taxes and the property taxes or whatever, and I would be like, they let me stay there for a while, pretty much rent free. I mean, I'd pay like taxes and utilities, and that was pretty much my rent, but I was helping my family out. But I remember, this was back when I was still like buying weed from one of my coworkers, and I would, every weekend I would just come home from work, and I remember I watched this one movie. I think it was called The Tree of Life. I think it's a Terrence Malick movie. But, you know, speaking about like toxic masculinity or whatever, and like how men should be more open with their emotions or something like that, I got high as a kite. I got so high. I don't know what the fuck I was smoking. I don't know what the fuck it was I was even smoking. But I had this pipe or this bowl, and I just kept taking hits of it, and I got high as a fucking kite. And I watched this movie, Tree of Life, and there's this scene. I think Brad Pitt was in this movie. I didn't understand anything in this movie. If you have seen this movie, was there a dinosaur in it? It was like there was like part of it was based in the 50s. Sean Penn was in it. I think he was like talking about his childhood or something. But Brad Pitt like played his father, and Jessica Chastain played his mother or some shit, and it was like based in the 50s. And there were all these scenes, but there was these scenes where they were playing around in the backyard when they were kids or whatever, and Jessica Chastain would be walking around, and it reminded me of when I played in the backyard with my brother and sister when we were really little, and something just hit me, and I started bawling, like full on crying, just weeping like a bitch, just like I'm an ugly crier, but there's something in that movie just hit me just right, and I was sitting alone in my house, high as a kite, bawling my eyes out at this fucking goofy, like artsy, fartsy, pretentious movie that I don't even understand to this day. I just was like, I was totally lost. Tears were streaming down my face. I was just gone. I was a blubbering mess. And I'm so glad. We talk about how like men should show their emotions, but they also shouldn't show their emotions. Nobody has a good take on this shit. I haven't seen a good take on it from anybody, but I was showing my emotions. I was a blubbering, mumbling mess. I just kept, it went on for a while. And I finally got a hold of myself, and I was like, oh my God. Like, if one of my friends was there, dude, if I had a girl there with me, it would have been over. Women, they say they want you to be like open with them and emotional with them. After that, crying in front of a woman gets you a kiss on the forehead, and that's it. That's all you get. But if I had like, if one of my friends was there with me, bro, he would have never let me forget it. They would have. If like I used to have my buddies over there. We'd hang out on the weekends, just do whatever. You know, I usually drink, but I would just, if my buddies were there, they would have never let me live that down. They would have called me a homophobic slur for the forever, you know. And this was like 10 years ago. I guarantee, if my buddies saw me do this, uh, they would have called me all sorts of names. I was just a mess, you know. I was just like, oh my god, oh man, that was just embarrassing. So there's an embarrassing story about me. Let's have a little bit more of this delicious water. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, should men be open about their emotions? I don't know. If you have opinions on this, let me know. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here. It's 1:21 on a Saturday morning. I'm probably not going to get to bed anytime soon. I might release more of these videos tonight. I don't know. I'm just in one of those moods. I can feel the alcohol dissipating from my body. I'm starting to become more sober, and now I'm like, I drank all that Monster, and I had a Coke Zero. I have all this caffeine in my system now, so it's just like, fuck, might as well stay up for a while. Fuck, come on. You can watch me vape. Delicious vape. Incredible vape. Recommend this to everybody. I'm gonna get caught vaping once at work, and they're gonna fire me for being gay. You smoke tobacco like a man. My dad actually bought me a pipe, like a tobacco pipe. Um, he was kind of getting on my case about smoking, like smoking cigarettes. You know, he smoked for a long time, and he wound up quitting before, like, he quit when my sister was born. But so he's kind of like, you know, I was living with him for a while. I was smoking cigarettes in the house like a fucking scumbag. I was just like watching. I was sitting on the couch. You know, I brought my furniture and shit over. I had my TV all set up, and I was just like smoking on the couch. I didn't open a window or nothing. The whole house smelled like Marlboro Reds. I don't know why my dad. He was just like, he had every right to kick me out, and he didn't. You know, I was just a scumbag. I'd be smoking. I'd be like fucking. I smoked a lot back then. I would just be like, I was just like chain smoking. You know, I was almost up to 2 packs a day. I've cut it back so much though. You know, it's just ugh. You know, that shit's so nasty for you. You know, it's just it's gross. Ugh, it's fucking disgusting. And you know, since I've stopped smoking, I mean, this vaping's not good for you either. This shit sucks too, but it's not as bad for you. You know, you just kind of like you're just looking for an alternative. You need the nicotine. I don't know. There's all sorts of like alternatives these days though. All right. That actually wasn't water. It was moonshine. No, I'm kidding. I gotta find some decent shine around here. There's this place called Michigan Moonshine, not too far from here. It's in this little downtown area, a couple miles away. But they got this thing called the Moonshine Mule. It's good. I don't know what they put. The moonshine mixed with like some fruit and some other ingredients, and it's pretty good. It's like a Moscow Mule, but with moonshine. It's expensive, but you drink like one of those things. I went there. My dad took me there on my birthday, just like let's get some drinks or something, you know. And I had a moonshine mule, and I was just sort of like, but I gotta find like, that's the thing. I'm a Yankee, you know. I visited Tennessee a few years ago, and they were all calling me a Yankee and a Northerner. And it's just like, fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. But I'd like to get some decent moonshine. I need some grain alcohol. I need to get really fucked up. You know, I need to put my liver through its paces. I can't be. I gotta be. I can't be relying on beer all the time. But it's weird to like. I don't want to pay taxes on moonshine either. There's all these sayings. If you're paying taxes on shine, it ain't real shine or whatever. I just want to explore different ways to get intoxicated. Oh, maybe I should just stay like unintoxicated. You know, maybe that'll be something. I can't believe I'm. Oh man, I'm gonna be pissing all night. It's gonna be one of those nights you'll sleep for a couple hours, get up, take a piss, sleep for a couple more hours, get up, take a piss. It's gonna be one of those nights for me. Oh Lord, that's the thing. You got like get older, you just pee more often. Especially, I don't really drink light beer, but I mean, back in the day, I'd be drinking like Bud Light or like uh, Miller High Life or whatever. That was my beer for a while. I'd be pounding those, and I'd be like, I'd just get all fucked up, and then I'd be peeing like every 5 minutes. Or you go to the bar, and it's just like you're talking to this girl, and you can't even. It's like you can't keep the conversation going for more than 10 minutes. You gotta keep running to the bathroom. Oh shit. I don't know. I haven't picked up a girl at a bar in so long. I used to do that shit all the time. Back when I was still handsome and I still had hair. Oh, those were the days. Those were the days, man. Back in my 20s, still fuck around a little bit. Now I'm pushing 40. I'm like, oh, fuck. Where did the years go? I got my 20-year high school reunion coming up next year. I've been in high school for 20 years already. It's fucking insane. Jesus Christ. Where does the time go? Where does. I don't know. It's just one of those things. It passes you by so quickly. I see all these young people. I remember I was working with this young girl at work. We hire out to high schools, and we bring like high school like sophomores and juniors in. All these kids are so goddamn young. They all have these goofy hairstyles and speak in this they talk about like bussin' and for real and no cap and on God. I just want to grab them and shake them. Speak the king's English, god damn it. No, I'm just fucking around. But I don't know what the fuck to say to these kids, but I remember I was working with this one girl, real young girl. Her name was Karen. She was like 15. Her name was Karen. I felt bad for her because Karen didn't become a meme till just recently. But I think she was 16 going on 17. We were working together. We were like sorting these parts, and we just got to talking about like school and stuff. I told her I graduated high school in 2004, and she looked at me and she's like, "Oh, that's the year before I was born." And I aged like 50 years. Like Matt Damon in that scene in Saving Private Ryan near the end, where he's just like, he turns into an old man in like 3 seconds. That was me. Like, what do you even say to that? This girl was born after I graduated high school. I was in my 20s when she was born. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, I just I think millennials are getting to that age where like nobody cares what we think anymore. People are gonna start thinking of us as boomers, and we just like don't understand the younger generations anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell young people these days, but it's just one of those things. I mean, I didn't. You know, I didn't have social media in high school. There's Twitter wasn't around, YouTube wasn't around. I didn't have a cell phone. I think I talked about this before, but I had this shitty flip phone in high school, and I never used it. I mean, I called my buddies on it every once in a while, but I mean, I wasn't like texting or checking my TikToks or my Facebook status or my tweets or whatever or whatever. I don't know. All these other websites. I don't understand any of this shit. I don't understand any of this shit. But that was water. Delicious, clean water. Crisp, refreshing water. I recommend everybody drinks it every once in a while. But I've been TH. Just thought I'd share some of my thoughts. Maybe I'll do some videos like this where I just kind of ramble about bullshit. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much. Hopefully you guys like watching this shit. I don't know. mm. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Be cool. Stay safe. And I will talk to you guys later.